The author of Bleach, Tite Kubo, just promised us the biggest surprise in all of Bleach coming at the end of 1,000 Year Blood Cour 4, or did he? Let's talk about it. What is up, guys? My name is Sam. Welcome to Weebs Guild. So Bleach 1,000 Year Blood Cour 3 Blu-ray just came out, and with that, we got an interview with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tite Kubo, and at the very end, he dropped one of the biggest hints for something coming at the end of Cour 4, and the direct quote we were given is, in Cour 4, that character will finally appear. I believe their arrival will be the biggest surprise in all of Bleach, which is crazy because we've had some insane reveals in Bleach. I mean, I'm just going back to the Cour 1 when Aizen became a traitor is insane. Kubo's sitting here telling me that he's going to have a surprise bigger than that. It could be anything, guys. In this video, I'm going to go through all of the characters this could possibly be related to, but before we go too far, first of all, thank you to Ichigo Taicho. He's the one that actually translated the full interview, which I'll link in the description down below. He did give one more tweet following this, giving a little bit more transparency and a deeper insight to what might have actually been said in this interview. So if you guys don't know, the Japanese language is incredibly intense and incredibly complicated. And so the literal translation is, in Cour 4, that character will ... I think that will be the biggest surprise. And there's no verb attached to it. And it says the long pause in Japanese isn't random. It's just a classic way to build suspense. And it usually applies to, it could be will appear, will awaken, will finally move, something big is about to happen. So it could still be the original translation that he gave us, but it could also be a big event, something will awaken, something will move, which also relates to a couple of things that are already in the manga. We're going to touch base on that as well, but let's stick solely to the translation that we have right now with that character will appear. And just so you guys know, this isn't the first time he mentioned this, because in a Club Outside comment, he actually mentioned this upcoming interview and said that he full spoiled it and they had to dial it back and release a much more vague answer than what he gave. So we'll have to see what comes true at the very end of Cour 4. But with that, let's talk about the possibilities of who can show up. By far the most requested appearance is Tokinada, the villain from the Campfire World novel series. Now, if you haven't read the novel, I'm not going to spoil it for you here. He is up there in one of the best villains of all time. And that's crazy because Bleach has so many good ones already with Aizen and Yhwach and Jin Kariya. The three trio, they're already up there as the goats of anime. So to add another one in Tokinada, you would ask why? How is this possible? But he's a guy that does it for the love of the game. He's an asshole because he likes to be an asshole. He has no other reason than that. He likes to watch the world burn, all right? And he's not likable. He's not meant to be likable. And this is going to sound crazy, but he ties in with Tozen's backstory in such a beautiful way that it does justice for Tozen, and it makes Tokinada look even worse. There was a long time meme in the Bleach community that it was stated in Campfire World. That's the canon. It was stated in Campfire World. Go read it, go read it, go read it. When the 1,000 Year Blood manga originally ended, we didn't get answers for a lot of the stuff that happened at the ending of the series. Now, hopefully the anime answers a lot of this stuff, but that's why this novel was so impactful, right? We got to see what happened to a lot of our favorite characters. We got to see this original character that gave us some backstory on the formation of the three worlds and all the noble families, which was also just so incredible. With this story taking place right after Campfire World, and a lot of the events that happened in that novel are also happening during the events of 1,000 Year Blood War as well. So this would be the perfect cherry on the top to continue the series while we wait for hopefully the Hell Arc to continue. Now, stuff from Campfire World have been taken already, such as Shindy's Bankai, that's already been taken from the novel that was first introduced there and now it's been put into the anime. It would be so cool to see Tokinada just show up, roaming the battlefield at the very end of the series, and that's how it ends, leading to a movie or more series. I would be so excited for Tokinada to be there. I think he's so good. We have talked about these novels nonstop on our podcast, Bleach Boys. We've covered them in full where you can actually just listen to the podcast. So check out Bleach Boys. With that, let's talk number 2. Number 2 is another light novel character, Azashiro, one of the former Kenpachis. Now, this is from Spirits Are Forever With You, another light novel. And this is one that I have not read. Now, I know very much about Azashiro because I have played Bleach Brave Souls to no ends. So I know about the story. Now, this story does take place before 1,000 Year Blood War, so I do think this would be a little harder to tie in. Now, a lot of people, there is a exchange that happens between Azashiro and Aizen in the novels, so a lot of people are hoping that maybe Azashiro shows up, has a little talk with Aizen when he's re-put into the Muken, and that's where it would go, maybe go to flashback and we learn more about the Kenpachis. You actually get to learn about not one, but 2 Kenpachis in Spirits Are Forever With You, and it would be a nice bookend as well, with Unohana being out of the picture. Of all the novels, I don't see them adapting Spirits Are Forever With You first. I would see them doing Campfire World first, as that's been officially licensed everywhere, and then going from there. But Azashiro is another fan favorite character, and people have been dying for him to be officially represented. Both are incredible novels. I do think we have a high chance of the We Do Not Always Love You novel being adapted in some way towards the end of the manga, which would be crazy because they have mentioned that there's going to be a bit more building of that relationship between Renji and Rukia in some of the interviews that they've done. So I do hope that is there. Any of the 3 novels that I've mentioned are all incredible. You guys should all give them a read, but I would be happy with any of those hitting into the finale. Next, this would be potentially one of the more boring options, but that character will finally appear. Could just simply be Aizen, right? It could be Aizen appearing, welcome to my soul society. It's something that we've had for a long time. He could be talking about a biggest surprise in all of Bleach in terms of the anime, right? It's been something that's been in the manga for a long time. I don't think this is what he's talking about because there's so many anime original scenes that he's been working on for the Cour 4 that he's already talked about over and over and over. I really don't think that's going to be it, but it could be something as simple as that. It could be something as simple as the parents. We have Ishida and Ryuken, right? They're both in there. They're going to do their thing. We've read the manga. We know what's going to happen. It could be them just showing up to help out Uryu. That character will finally appear. It could be Uryu appearing to help out Ichigo at the very end, right? There's so many things that it could be from the main manga. I'm going to rule those out and just hope that he's not talking about stuff that already happens because those are huge surprises, right? Obviously, when the Uryu thing happens at the very end, it's not a surprise because he's already fight Yhwach. So that's cool. But hey, who knows? Kubo cooks some wild stuff, man. Now let's dig a little deeper and go into some flashback era stuff. A lot of this is going to be pulling from Camp Fairy World as well. But what about the Soul King in the past? Could this dig deeper into the reality that we're getting where we kind of learn more about the past and what Yhwach Baha is going through? We've seen a lot of this in flashbacks already. We saw the birth of Yhwach Baha, right? There's no reason why we can't go further back and see the creation of the 3 worlds, right? The separation that happened. One of the things I'd like to point to is Ichibe. In the anime, already has his Shikai Zanpakuto out. In the manga, that was not the case. He was like, had base sword. We never see Ichibe again. Ichibe could easily start giving us a tale like he did in Camp Fairy World, talking about the original and why Yhwach Baha is fighting so hard and why this injustice. We've seen so many new flashbacks with Ichigo doing his training, and we don't have an explanation for those yet. It could be that time where we see the Soul King. We see what happens. We see Yhwach Baha's great injustice and why he wants to change this world. It could easily be something like that, and I would be down for it. The flashbacks in Camp Fairy World are done so well, and they explain so much hypothetical backstory to what happens. It would be incredible for that to be adapted. We've already seen him pull stuff from Camp Fairy World. It would be the cherry on the top to see more of that at the end of Thousand Year Blood War, especially as we're digging up into the Hell arc, right? It starts giving us the backstory of the 3 worlds. Then we go into the Hell arc with Kazui. Now, let's talk Kazui. I'm not going to stick around on this one too long, but obviously Kazui shows up at the very end. This character's going to be the biggest surprise in all of Bleach. I don't think this is it, but I have seen that thrown around quite a few times that it could just be speaking of Kazui. Another character that it could be that shows up is Szayelaporro. You know Kubo loves this damn character. This could be the introduction to the Hell arc, and it could be the biggest surprise in Bleach that they attach the Hell arc at the very end of Bleach Thousand Year Blood War. Szayelaporro appears, surprises everybody. Kubo loves to mix it up with this character. It would be so good also, just like going in from Thousand Year Blood War to Camp Fairy World. Thousand Year Blood War, we see Kazui, we see what Kazui's doing, goes straight into the Hell arc. Szayelaporro appears, everybody's in their adult form. It kicks off there, series ends. That would be a huge surprise, something that would be really, really, really cool. And you know he loves that character. So I can see the world where Kubo's like, nah, you got to adapt that chapter. Like, I'm sorry, you got to throw that in there. It's going to make it great. Based off of the previous information we have where Kubo's talking about that he gave a big spoiler, I'm going to assume it's something not from the manga. So we're going to rule out like Kazui. We're going to rule out, I don't know, any of the canon characters that are already in there. We're just going to go ahead and set them aside for now, right? Now, I'm going to throw rapid fire some ones that I would personally love to see, and this is going to be called Sam's Simplest. Here we go. Stark. All right, we don't know for sure that Stark's dead. We just saw him falling down. Harribel's alive. She did the same thing. Why can Stark not be alive? Number 2, Gin. All right, we never saw Gin officially die. Gin just disappeared. We don't know what happened again. What if Gin shows up, saves the day? That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that. I tweeted this out, but Omaeda's father is told in the stories as being some badass that like Soifon genuinely trusted and was so cool. And Omaeda's the complete opposite of Omaeda's father. So Omaeda's father hopping in. There's now a dad trio on the scene. That would be cool. Ichibe showing up and doing literally anything. I know I talked about this, maybe him doing the backstory of the Soul King, but him helping out in any way or form would be pretty damn cool because he's pretty damn broken. Now, there's been quite a few changes between the manga and the actual anime series, and you know one of those changes has affected a certain character that we have not had a confirmed death yet for. Robert motherfucking Accutrone, okay? None other than the GOAT is going to show up. He's going to save the day, all right? He's going to be on Yhwach's side to the end. Maybe he's going to fight Chad, right? We don't want Chad fighting those stone soldiers. That shit sucks. So why not bring Robert Accutrone back? He fights Chad and Ganju. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. He's not dead yet. Hashtag Robert Accutrone is not dead. Harribel. I don't think Harribel will be the biggest surprise in all of Bleach, so I'm going to rule her out, but we need to see her again. Please, we have to see her. We have to see her. We have to see her. And lastly, Jin Kariya, #1 bout. He comes back, resurrected through the system, comes back to save Ichigo again. He's the greatest to ever do it. We see him in up. We have the multi-villains now. All 3 of the main ones reappear. In reality, Jin Kariya is dead, but you know who's still alive? Koga, the last remaining mount. Okay, he's still out there doing his thing with Ron Tao. He's having a great time. They circle back. Ron Tao's got a machine gun good to go. Takes out everybody. It saves the day. It's awesome. Now let's talk about what the other implications of the translation could mean in the terms of that character will appear, will awaken, will finally move, something big is about to happen. The one that I really want to talk about that people keep saying time and time again, I get asked all the time in our lives, all the time in our podcast, Aizen's Bankai. Is this something that can happen in Cour 4? Is this something that we as fans want to see happen in Cour 4? Personally, I do not. I don't want to see Aizen's Bankai because the story is set in stone, right? You know Yhwach has to be defeated the way that he was defeated, right? There can be more fluff added to it. In a similar way that we saw Shinji's Bankai, right? Shinji uses Bankai for the first time. It was incredible. It was awesome. It was a great scene. It was well animated, but it was nothing. Nothing happened. He didn't take out any main characters. He got instantly roasted by Bambietta still right after that. It's not the way you want your favorite character to be adapted. In Can't Fear World, when Shinji uses it, it is an incredible scene. He has an incredible feat and takes down so many things, okay? I'm trying to be as spoiler-free as possible here. If Aizen uses his Bankai, he is going to lose still. He is still going to lose Yhwach because that is the way the story has to go, right? We don't want Aizen to use his Bankai there. Honestly, I don't think Aizen should use his Bankai, period, unless we're going back in some sort of a flashback and we're going to reveal it then because he has transcended. Let's leave that in the past, right? Aizen is such a cool character. I think he has peaked in Thousand Year Blood War. I don't really want to see Aizen in the Hell Arc even. I think he's done. I think he's had his story. He's got cool aura building moments. He has cool moments in Can't Fear World, like just a couple of talking bits because he's the talking master. We write him off. We move on, okay? We leave that as what it's going to be. Let's talk Uryu and the new scenes we've been seeing added into the anime, right? We got new scenes in the anime of the original Ashwelin when Uryu's mother unfortunately met her demise, right? Some of that is very different from the story that we were told. In there, we see that it's Uryu that collapses, but we know Uryu survives. So what does this entail, right? They're building something up with Uryu here. It could be a new awakening that is happening with Uryu that we're going to see in this Thousand Year Blood War anime. I can see that highly being the case, so that way he is up there with Ichigo also helping out, right? He's going to do more than just the still silver arrow. What new power is he going to awaken? That's to Kubo to figure out and decide. But I can easily see a new awakening happening for Uryu and going even further beyond because Ichigo becomes so cracked by the end of the series that there still has to be another counterbalance. You know, the Quincy's are supposed to be the Soul Reaper's enemies, and obviously Yhwach is insanely powerful. I can see it being another power up for Uryu to rival something like Ichigo, and he goes there and they fight, and it's awesome and it's amazing, and that would be the biggest shock that happens in Bleach. You know, that backstory and how Uryu survived and the new powers that awakens from that is something that would be really incredible to see in the anime as well. All right, you guys, let me know what you guys think. How are you interpreting the words? What do you think is going to happen in the Thousand Year Blood War Cour 4? I'm so excited for it to finally come back. I'm so happy we got brand new news from Kubo. This is the interview we've been talking about on Bleach Boys for a very long time, waiting to drop, and it's here. If you guys want to see the full interview, I'll link it down below. And of course, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.